In this gripping tale, we delve into the life of Ethan Caldwell, a former Marine and dedicated ranch owner whose unwavering spirit drives him to confront the pervasive corruption in his community. With a background steeped in discipline and honor, Ethan embodies resilience, standing firm against the injustices that threaten his way of life. As he navigates the complexities of his rural existence, the stakes rise dramatically with the emergence of the Cactus Ridge Homeowners Association, a powerful entity determined to impose its will on the land and its people. This conflict not only tests Ethan's resolve, but also ignites a fierce battle for justice that resonates deeply with anyone who has ever faced adversity. Join us as we explore Ethan's courageous journey, highlighting the themes of resilience and the relentless pursuit of justice in the face of overwhelming odds. The tension escalated as men in black leather jackets stormed Ethan Caldwell's ranch, their presence a stark contrast to the serene landscape he had fought to protect. With a menacing air they approached, their intentions clear: to intimidate and assert the Cactus Ridge HOA's authority. Ethan stood his ground, fueled by an unwavering determination to defend his family's legacy, a legacy built on hard work and integrity. He could feel the weight of generations behind him, urging him to resist the encroaching threat. As the confrontation unfolded, it became evident that these men were merely pawns in a larger game, manipulated by corrupt forces seeking to exploit the land for profit. The HOA's actions were driven by greed, aiming to reshape the community to fit their vision. But Ethan was resolute. He would not allow his home or heritage to be trampled by those who valued money over the spirit of the land. Ethan Caldwell's Arizona ranch is more than just land. It is a testament to his family's enduring legacy, rooted in the values instilled by his grandfather. Established decades ago, the ranch symbolizes hard work, integrity, and a deep respect for nature, principles that have shaped Ethan's character. Growing up amidst the sprawling fields and rugged landscapes, Ethan developed an emotional connection to the land, viewing it as a living entity that holds the stories of his ancestors. However, this cherished sanctuary faces an existential threat from the relentless urban sprawl of Phoenix, which encroaches upon rural life, transforming the once peaceful surroundings into a battleground for development. As neighborhoods expand and the city creeps closer, Ethan feels the weight of responsibility to protect not only his family's heritage, but also the essence of rural life that is rapidly fading. The ranch stands as a symbol of resilience against the tide of change, embodying a fight for preservation. The day began like any other until Ethan Caldwell opened his mailbox to find a certified letter that would change everything. The document, stamped with the Cactus Ridge HOA's insignia, claimed annexation of his property, a move that threatened to strip him of his rights and autonomy. The implications were staggering. If the HOA succeeded, Ethan would lose control over his land, his family's legacy reduced to mere property under someone else's jurisdiction. Initially, Ethan scoffed at the legal authority behind the letter, dismissing it as an empty threat from a group he viewed as bullies. However, deep down, he sensed the gravity of the situation. This was not just a bureaucratic maneuver. It was a declaration of war against his way of life. As he crumpled the letter in his fist, the stage was set for an escalating conflict that would test his resolve and determination to protect what was rightfully his. As the days turned into weeks, the harassment from the Cactus Ridge HOA escalated, leaving Ethan Caldwell feeling increasingly besieged. He began receiving a barrage of fines and notices, each one more absurd than the last. Penalties for alleged violations like untrimmed grass and unauthorized structures, all aimed at wearing him down. At the center of this intimidation campaign was Victor Langley, the HOA president, whose menacing demeanor and cold, calculating gaze sent shivers down Ethan's spine. Langley relished the power he wielded, often appearing unannounced at the ranch. His presence a constant reminder of the looming threat. The emotional toll of this relentless harassment weighed heavily on Ethan, gnawing at his spirit and sense of security. Each notice felt like a personal attack, chipping away at his resolve and leaving him to grapple with the fear that his family's legacy was slipping through his fingers. In his quest for answers, Ethan Caldwell began reaching out to local officials and other victims of the Cactus Ridge HOA, uncovering a web of deceit that ran deeper than he had imagined. Through these conversations, he learned of the HOA's involvement in criminal activities, including money laundering schemes orchestrated by none other than Victor Langley. The realization that Langley was using the HOA as a front for illicit financial dealings fueled Ethan's determination to expose the corruption. As he connected with fellow ranchers and residents who had suffered similar fates, the importance of community became increasingly clear. Together, they formed a united front, sharing resources and strategies to combat the oppressive tactics of the HOA. This newfound support not only bolstered Ethan's resolve, but also ignited a collective spirit of resistance, reminding him that he was not alone in this fight against the corruption threatening their homes and livelihoods. Determined to fight back against the Cactus Ridge HOA, Ethan Caldwell began to strategize meticulously, drawing on his military background to inform his approach. He decided to set up trail cameras around his property, discreetly capturing footage of any HOA representatives who dared to trespass or harass him. This technological edge would provide crucial evidence against Victor Langley and the corrupt practices of the HOA. Ethan understood that in order to combat their intimidation tactics, he needed to document their actions meticulously, turning the tables on those who sought to undermine him. His military training instilled in him a sense of discipline and strategic thinking, guiding him to anticipate their moves and prepare accordingly. As he reviewed the footage and gathered evidence, Ethan felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that he was not just defending his land, but also standing up for the community against the corruption that threatened their way of life. The tension in the air was palpable as Ethan Caldwell faced off against the men from Dark Reaper MC, their imposing figures casting long shadows over his ranch. The standoff was charged, with Ethan standing resolute, his heart pounding, but his courage unwavering. Drawing on his military connections, he had reached out to allies who understood the stakes, and their presence loomed in the background, ready to support him if needed. As the men from the motorcycle club exchanged glances, Ethan seized the moment, leveraging his knowledge of their operations and the evidence he had gathered against Langley and the HOA. He spoke with authority, outlining the consequences of their actions and the potential fallout from their involvement with the corrupt HOA. This unexpected display of strength caught Langley and his associates off guard, shifting the balance of power in Ethan's favor and igniting a flicker of hope that he could reclaim his land and community. In a pivotal moment of clarity, Ethan Caldwell resolved to take legal action against Victor Langley and the Cactus Ridge HOA, recognizing that the time for passive resistance had passed. He meticulously crafted a comprehensive letter detailing Langley's crimes, outlining the evidence he had gathered, including video footage and testimonies from fellow victims. This letter would serve as a formal declaration of war against the corruption that had plagued his community. Understanding the importance of documentation, Ethan ensured that every claim was backed by solid proof, creating a compelling case that could not be easily dismissed. He envisioned a strategy that would lead to cascading failures within Langley's empire, where each piece of evidence would unravel the threads of deceit that held the HOA together. With determination in his heart, Ethan prepared to confront the corrupt forces head-on, ready to reclaim not just his land, but the integrity of his community. Ethan Caldwell's decisive actions against Victor Langley set off a chain reaction that would ultimately lead to the collapse of Langley's empire. The comprehensive letter detailing Langley's crimes caught the attention of federal authorities, prompting a thorough investigation into the Cactus Ridge HOA's illicit activities. As the investigation unfolded, the public was exposed to the extent of Langley's corruption, revealing a web of deceit that had ensnared many unsuspecting victims. With mounting evidence against him, Langley's influence began to wane, and his once feared authority crumbled under scrutiny. For Ethan, the consequences were profound. Not only were his property rights restored, but he also found an outpouring of support from the community that rallied behind him. Neighbors who had once felt isolated now stood united, inspired by Ethan's courage to confront corruption, transforming their shared struggle into a powerful testament to resilience and justice in the face of adversity. Ethan. Caldwell's story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up against corruption and injustice, no matter how daunting the challenge may seem. His journey illustrates that one person's determination can spark significant change, inspiring others to join the fight for their rights and the preservation of their communities. As viewers reflect on their own rights and property ownership, they are encouraged to recognize the value of vigilance and advocacy in safeguarding what is rightfully theirs. Ethan's triumph over adversity highlights the collective strength that emerges when individuals unite against oppressive forces. If you found this story inspiring, we invite you to subscribe, like, and share this video to spread awareness and empower others. Together, we can create a ripple effect of resilience and justice, ensuring that stories like Ethan's continue to inspire action and foster a sense of community in the face of adversity